Water transport plays a key role in the world, enabling international trade, efficient mass transport, access to remote areas, energy efficiency, and employment. In addition, it serves as an effective means of passenger transport, supports maritime tourism, and is of strategic importance in the context of defense security. The projects we'll focus on today shorten the distance in the transport of goods, support international trade, and its efficiency. We already have the Panama Canal, which once created, changed the perspective of water transport to the western shores of both Americas. And we also have a new Mexican project that's coming into force and promises to be a big competitor to the Panama project. From the previous episode, we know how involved Mexico is and what role it plays in trade. 3 new railway lines are to be built: Line Z, Line FA, and Line K. They are intended to connect the cities of Salina Cruz, Ixtepec, Coatzacoalcos, Palenque, and Silas Hidalgo. All these railway lines together will be over 1,000 kilometers long. Mexico is a culturally and ethnically rich country in North America, known for its beautiful beaches, historical monuments, cuisine such as taco and guacamole, and colorful holidays such as Dia de los Muertos. It covers a variety of landscapes from mountains to beaches. Mexico is also one of the largest Spanish-speaking countries in the world. Panama, on the other hand, is a country in Central America, a country offering diverse landscapes, including mountains, tropical rainforests, and charming beaches. Panama City, the capital, is a dynamic city with impressive architecture, and the local culture is strongly rooted in a mixture of Native American, Spanish, African, and American influences. Let's first focus on this first venture, whose history dates back to the beginning of the 20th century. This project is probably the thing Panama is most famous for. The Panama Canal, over 80 kilometers long with 12 locks, was built in 1904 to 1914 and officially opened in 1920, located in Panama on the Isthmus of Panama, connecting the waters of the Atlantic Ocean through the Caribbean Sea with the waters of the Pacific Ocean. It's one of the most important waterways in the world, which has significantly shortened the route that ships previously had to travel. For example, the sea route from San Francisco to New York has been shortened by 14,500 kilometers. Let's imagine what transportation from these locations could look like. If goods were to travel from San Francisco to New York without this canal, a very long distance would have to be sailed. The journey could be really difficult due to the climatic conditions in the places where the potential cargo would be transported. The project was a colossal simplification of transport. Unfortunately, there were tragic consequences. About 25,000 people died during the construction of the Panama Canal. Workers, and about 20,000 of them were infected with malaria or yellow fever. Creating such a facility and transport cost many lives. The Panama Canal, 81.6 kilometers long, is a key trade route. It runs through a system of locks and Lake Gatun. The first section, from the Caribbean Sea to the Gatun Locks, raises ships to a level of 25.9 meters above the sea. Then, through the Culebra Trench and another lock system, it reaches the ports of Panama and Balboa. The narrowest part, the Culebra Trench, is only 91.4 meters wide. On Lake Gatun, the waterway widens to 305 meters. The canal is served by the so-called Panamaxes, with maximum dimensions of 294.1 meters in length, 32.3 meters in width, 12 meters in draft, and 57.9 meters in height. The expansion, carried out in 2014 to 2015, included additional locks, widening and deepening the waterway, and raising the water level in Lake Gatun by half a meter. The project aimed to double the route's capacity by 2025, from the original 14,000 ships per year. The entire investment, costing approximately $5.45 billion, was intended to protect the canal against the challenges related to the increasing dimensions of modern ships. However, it is necessary to mention an unpleasant situation here. Due to extreme drought, the Panama Canal has reduced the number of ships per day from 31 to 24 from November 2023, with a further reduction to 18 vessels planned from February 2024. This caused financial problems for Panama, whose budget depends heavily on revenues from the canal, which was a big blow to the state. Now, let's turn our attention to Mexico. Tren interoceanico. It's part of the Tehuantepec isthmus corridor and belongs to Mexico. Since 1814, there was a plan to build a route from the Atlantic to the Pacific through the isthmus of Tehuantepec. After gaining independence in 1821, Mexico considered various proposals, including canal through the Chivela Pass using the Coatzacoalcos River. Unfortunately, none of these plans were implemented. Construction of the Tehuantepec Railway continued in 1887 and was completed in 1894. Numerous problems were encountered, such as unsuitable ports at the ends of the route and different construction standards. The Mexican government contracted Wheatman D. Pearson to completely renovate, stabilize, and rebuild the structure. The newly renovated line opened in 1907, and oil-powered steam locomotives pioneered the use of this energy source. Moving now to the present, on June 7, 2020, the President of Mexico announced the Tren Interoceanico railway renovation project. Startup costs are 3 billion pesos, and the total cost will be 20 billion pesos. It's planned to increase the speed of freight trains from 20 km per hour to 70 km per hour, and introduce passenger trains reaching 80 km per hour. The project will enable connections to existing freight lines, and work will include modernization and addition of new features such as stations and bridges, as well as a number of industrial parks. Passenger Line Z test took place in September 2023, and full passenger service began in December of the same year. The test itself was an interesting event, and the journey took less than 9 hours, which beats transport through the Panama Canal. The second phase of Line Z is scheduled to open in June 2024, including new stations and a section in Matias Romero. The total cost is somewhere around $4.5 billion. But what does all this mean for Panama and its groundbreaking project? The fact is that what Mexico is building will be a cheaper and more attractive alternative to the Panama Canal. However, the goal is not to replace it in itself, but to complement the Panama project. The Panama Canal is capable of helping transport 4 million cargo containers annually, but in some situations this is still not enough. The Mexican rail line is intended to relieve pressure on the Panama Canal at times when demand in the canal is high. Today, we can already see how much the perspective of goods transport in this part of the world is changing. However, it is worth mentioning other canals. The Suez Canal is an artificial waterway connecting the Mediterranean Sea with the Red Sea. It was built mainly with the participation of French and Egyptian engineers, and the project was also financially supported by Ferdinand de Lesseps. The Suez Canal opened in 1869. Additionally, the Suez Canal does not require a system of locks or level changes, which is a feature of the Panama Canal. It also plays a very important role in the transport of goods. The Grand Canal of China, also known as the Imperial Canal, is the longest artificial canal in the world, with a history of over 1,100 years. Built during the Sui and Tang dynasties, it served as a major transportation route, facilitating trade and communication between the north and south of the country. The length of the canal is over 1.7 thousand kilometers, and its historical importance is undeniable, influencing the economic and cultural development of China. However, none of these canals are shorter in length than the Panama Canal. Once in Nicaragua, another channel was to be created by a Chinese businessman. The plan was born in 2014, but its project was cancelled due to events on the Chinese market. In this episode, we presented the importance of the ideas of both countries. Over the years, they've been very important projects, taking care of the field of exchanges between countries. Many thanks to Panama and Mexico for an excellent job. If you would like to share your observations, please visit the comment section, leave a like, subscribe, and watch the latest video, also about Mexico. Thank you for watching.